Thanks for tuning in to Unbreakable with Chris Chamasiros. Let's jump into the show today. So, first up today, llhan Omar. She was at a town hall meeting. Some maniac came in and threw some liquid on her. Maybe it was roach spray. I don't know. I'm still waiting to find out. But if he did throw some roach spray on her, I really can't blame him, to say the least. I mean, she is a 5-foot roach, 5-foot walking roach, I should say. Man arrested after spraying llhan Omar with substance at Minneapolis town hall meeting. I'm not going to play the video. Wait, will it play?
When surprise breakdowns
see what happens here. Yeah, I'll play the video. Sorry about the commercial.
Replace parts of the systems and appliances you
I'm on Yahoo, so you know how that goes.
Your time and money by connecting you with qualified pros and helping pay for covered repairs or replacements.
Come on.
AHS offers flexible and affordable plans for every home. Sign up today and get $100 off with code AHS100. Visit AHS.com or call 833-PLAN-AHS.
And DHS Secretary Kristi Noem must resign or face impeachment.
I love it. I love it.
I don't know.
I love it.
Oh my God, he sprayed something on her.
I need a napkin to know nothing.
Oh, I love it.
No, we will continue. No. llhan, you need to go get checked. No, we will continue this. Not gonna get away with it.
She's so tough, this little roach, isn't she? All right, you saw. I mean, Democrats and liberals, they'll be outraged at this, but the same Democrats and liberals that are outraged about that will be celebrating Charlie Kirk. Hopefully he hit her with some raid because she absolutely deserves it. I can't stand her. You know I can't stand her, so I don't care. I don't make any bones about it. You know, she's up there. Kristi Noem needs to be impeached. Who the F are you? Are you even an American citizen? You come here, you complain about everything. Everything offends you. You're involved in billions of dollars worth of fraud, and you're talking about impeaching people. You should be in federal prison. You should be in Gitmo. If Trump called me on the phone right now and deputized me, I would drive to your home, right? If he deputized me, if I was a law enforcement officer, let's put this in context here because I'm not threatening anybody. But if I was a law enforcement officer and Trump wanted me to take her to Gitmo personally, I would do it. So, whatever. Piece of garbage. So, you know, Bill Belichick, Bill Belichick is up for the Hall of Fame, and he gets denied on his first go around. And I got to be completely honest with you, Bill. You brought this upon yourself with the cheating. You got the biggest fine in NFL history towards a coach, $500,000 fine. Now, fine, during the course of the game, it's pretty common knowledge that coaches steal signs from each other during the courses of games. They do stuff to hide their signs. But Bill was taking this to an extreme. You know, he was scoping out other teams' practices. He had people, sitting miles away taking pictures. He took it to a new level. So Bill Belichick, even though I don't know how to feel about this because I have a big problem in sports when people cheat, whether it's anabolic steroids or doing stuff like that. It's like John Jones. People bring up John Jones all the time. And they're like, oh, do you think he's the best fighter ever? And I just can't say he's the best fighter ever because he's failed multiple steroid tests. I mean, he's failed steroid tests like 5 or 6 times. So you're going to say, well, what does one have to do with the other? Bill's a coach. It has a lot to do with it. If you can't do things honestly or with integrity, then I can't call you the best at something. And let's see what Bill Belichick had to say. Let me search this. Hold on. See if it comes up right away. Of course it doesn't. News. Here, let me click on the news thing. Basically, what Belichick said was, 6 Super Bowls isn't enough. And Bill, obviously, that's not the problem. The problem isn't that you won 6 Super Bowls. The problem is that you cheated we all know you cheated to some degree or you wouldn't got the fine. And then there's other coaches on your staff. I think he went to the Broncos. I think his name was McDaniels. He got caught doing the same crap that you were doing. So you know what, Bill, you brought this upon yourself with your cheating and your garbage. You know, and I'm not saying that as a Steelers fan. I'm saying that as a football fan. Either do things right or don't do it at all. More up on the news slate. You know, Trump, Trump is just real. He's too much, I'll tell you. Trump is already throwing these border agents under the bus. He let me bring up this article. This all changed when I went live, of course. Here we go. Trump sacks border chief after fatal ICE shooting. Yeah, like it's his fault, Trump. Donald Trump has sacked the Border Patrol chief leading his immigration raids across the country and the fatal shooting of a nurse in Minneapolis. Is anybody upset about Lincoln Riley? I mean, wasn't she trying to be a nurse? No, nobody gives a shit about her. Her life wasn't important, right? Gregory Bovino, 56, was removed from his role as commander-at-large of Border Patrol and is expected to retire soon, the Atlantic reported, citing officials. Oh, now he's being forced to retire. Yeah, you're going to really make people want to join ICE now, Trump. I mean, the maniac that ended up getting killed, he had a weapon in his hand. He wouldn't get out of the middle of the street. He was told to leave multiple times. He was fumbling around for his weapon when Border Patrol was wrestling with him, and he ends up dead. And somehow, some way, this is Mr. Bovino's fault. Great job, Trump. Great job. The removal of Mr. Bovino, who has been in the face of Mr. Trump's mass deportations campaign, is the latest signal that the U.S. president is reining in his administration's most aggressive tactics. Well, to get 55 million illegals out of the country, you're going to have to get aggressive. An adult's going to have to take over. Somebody's going to have to do it because these people can't just do whatever the hell they want. So right away, Trump, you know what Trump is signaling right now? He's signaling to all this Antifa scum and all these liberal protesters that are totally out of their mind that he's retreating. And if they keep acting up, he's going to back off. Typical Trump. He doesn't double down. He doesn't triple down. He doesn't take, what's this guy's name? Bovino's side. He comes out and he says maybe it was a mistake putting him in charge. Really, Trump? Really? That's the best answer you can come up with? Maybe it was a mistake? Maybe it was a mistake that idiot that got killed shouldn't have went and tried to impede ICE doing their effing job. And maybe if he acted like a civilized protester, a nonviolent protester, he'd still be alive. But hey, I mean, he only tried to attack Border Patrol agents, ICE agents multiple times, but no big deal, right, Trump? Let's throw this guy under the bus. We're going to force Bovino to retire at the same time. Just to, you know what, Trump? And I'm a guy that voted for Trump 3 times, but I had it with Trump and his bullshit. Mr. Bovino, along with some federal agents, will leave Minneapolis on Tuesday as the U.S. president reshuffles leadership of his immigration policies and scales back on enforcement in the city. Go figure. The surge of immigration agents has provoked anger in Minneapolis. Well, maybe they shouldn't house illegal criminals there. Maybe Timmy Walsh and the other idiot mayor, Jacob Fry, whatever his name is, you know, the guy that he eats Somalian food and he's like, as he's throwing up in his mouth, maybe they should cooperate with ICE and these types of things wouldn't happen. And instead of Trump getting on television and telling the truth about this situation, that Timmy Walsh is responsible for it, and llhan Omar and the leadership in Minnesota, what does Trump do? Oh, he throws the ICE agents under the bus. Well, it's just, Tricia McLaughlin, a senior Homeland Security official, denied that Mr. Bovino had been removed. She did not, however, specify what role he would play after leaving Minnesota, but described him as a key part of the president's team in Great America. Yeah, well, you know what? That's not what I've read multiple times. I've read that Trump is having him retire. So, also, Trump came out and said that maybe it was a mistake putting him in charge. No, it was a mistake for me to vote for you, Trump. You know what the mistake was? Me voting for you. I can tell you right now, J.D. Vance is not getting my vote. So, sincerely, a guy that voted for Trump 3 times. There's a story also in here about Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson, he went to Australia and it was a kids' basketball camp. And there's a whole bunch of these kids there with cancer. And Allen Iverson showed up, 2 hours late and didn't want anything to do with these children as they, their last wish on their deathbed is to meet this piece of garbage scumbag that he is. And you couldn't even tell the kids, like, hey, I'm sorry for your sickness. Give him a hug, sign a basketball. No, that's too much for Allen Iverson. Piece of shit. That's what he is. A majority of these athletes, they hate their fans' guts like me. I love the Steelers. I root for the city. I root for the team. I root for the city and the helmet and the owner and the people of Pittsburgh. Now, I do like some players more than others, but the majority of these players, they hate your guts for all the wrong reasons. But hey, I don't want to get into that today. I'm trying to stay away from that. So I love when I started this today, this Yahoo News. All of a sudden, everything is different as soon as I go live. That's always awesome, isn't it? Shador Sanders, he gets voted to the Pro Bowl. The NFL is just a total joke. Wait until you see the Super Bowl this year with Bad Bunny. When that idiot comes out and does an entire song in Spanish dressed as a woman. When he does that, I'm just effing done with the NFL. Roger Goodell, you can go F yourself because I'm just over it at this point. If that happens, I'm completely done. And we all know it's going to happen because that piece of trash has, we all know what he's going to do. He's already come out and said, oh, everybody needs to learn Spanish. No, you need to learn English. That's what you need to do. Bari Weiss, this is making things very difficult right now. Oh, here we go. We're back to a degree. Bari Weiss pushes a digital plan in an attempt to move past her rocky start at CBS News. Well, Barry, I got some news for you. The reason why things are not going to work out at CBS News is because you're in charge. And everybody knows you're a Zionist, and everybody knows you're a liar, and everybody knows you have no credibility. And it doesn't matter what you come up with. People know this. People know that you're full of shit. So let's hear what Barry had to say. Before arriving at CBS News in October to become editor-in-chief. Now, she has no experience doing this, right? None, zero. She got like a $200 million contract, but you want us to believe that it's a fair market out there, right? Your talent counts. Has nothing to do with the people that you know or who backs you, right? It always makes me laugh too, like Ben Shapiro and Mark Levin and all these idiots. They are the most untalented people on the planet, and you're brainwashed to believe that they have real talent, and they have no talent. So, but on Tuesday, she presented her plan for taking the storied news division forward after a series of moves that have damaged its standing among viewers, failed to improve ratings, lowered internal morale, and generated highly negative press coverage. I love it. Weiss, addressing the staff gathered at the CBS Broadcast Center in Manhattan, reached out to those who have not been impressed with what they've seen so far. I'm not going to stand up here today and ask you for trust, she said. Yeah, because nobody trusts you, Barry. Do you think anybody trusts you, Barry? Do you think, oh, yeah, you're going to cover Israel fairly? You're going to tell the truth about Benjamin Netanyahu controlling President Trump. You're going to tell the truth about AIPAC, right, Barry? Just give me a break. That's why nobody's watching, Barry. So they can pay you, $1 trillion a year. Nobody's tuning into the bullshit, Barry. That's why. I'm going to earn it, just like we have to do with our viewers. Nobody's falling for the shit, Barry. I got bad news for you. What a bad hire. I mean, these people love to just waste millions upon millions of dollars. I mean, you could hire me. I'm going to, I know certain topics are off limits, but I'm not going to lie for you. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to tell the truth, what goes on. This is why nobody watches this shit. The statement was an acknowledgement that the early days of Weiss's tenure have not been smooth. Weiss has dealt with her own lack of familiarity with TV news procedures. The entrenched culture of legacy media institution and suspicion that partisan politics are driving changes. The town hall style meeting was an attempt at a reset. Here's another lie that she told. Remember when Erica Kirk sat down with Bari Weiss for that big interview? They tried to brainwash the viewers that it was a town hall. A town hall is a live audience where people get to ask questions. And it was just those two idiots sitting in a studio, and Erica Kirk got the questions beforehand. And then you wonder why people are like, I'm not watching this shit. It's just like, Erica Kirk is the most unlikable. She's been caught in a zillion lies, and you should hire Erica Kirk, Barry. You two are perfect together. Perfect. Because nobody's buying the garbage, Barry. Nobody with a brain in their head anyway. The $350 million hire, Bari Weiss. Yeah, it was worth it, CBS News. Great job. Great job. She says, Bari Weiss actually came out and said, we're toast. Yeah, to say the least, you're toast. This is interesting. The doomsday clock is now 85 seconds to midnight, the closest it's ever been. What scientists say this means for humanity and how the time is determined. Wow. The time is now 4 seconds closer to midnight than it was in 2025. Humanity is closer to destroying itself, according to atomic scientists who revealed on Tuesday that the famous doomsday clock was set at 85 seconds to midnight, the closest it had been in nearly 80-year history of the clock. The Bulletin of the Atomic Scientist, a science-oriented advocacy group, made the announcement on Tuesday, metaphorically rating how close humankind is to annihilating itself with human-made advancements. Midnight represents the point at which humans will have made Earth unlivable. Well, we're halfway there. Democrats and liberals have destroyed every major city in America and every single thing they touch. They destroyed the church. They destroyed the school system. They destroyed sports. They destroyed ESPN. They destroyed cities. I mean, you know, we're there. Trust me, we're there. Oh, God, what a joke. It's just unbelievable. It is the determination of the Bulletin Science and Security Board that humanity has not made significant progress on the existential risks that endanger us all. We thus move the clock forward, said Alexandra Bell. Oh, you mean like how Benjamin Netanyahu and Israel told President Trump if they don't bomb Iran, that Israel is going to use nukes on them? You mean like in that situation? Oh, this is the new shakedown of this is Benjamin Netanyahu's new shakedown of President Trump. This is what it sounds like. I want to speak to President Trump right now. Who's this? This is Benjamin Netanyahu. Listen, you're going to do what we say, and if you don't, we're going to nuke the people that you don't attack for us. Okay, have a great day. And Trump kisses. Okay, Benjamin, I love you. According to Trump, he's the first Jewish president ever. Sounds like a shakedown to me, but hey, you know, what can I say? Trump is such a disgrace at this point, isn't he? The Bulletin cited the failure of leadership. Hold on. This is great. The Bulletin cited the failure of leadership worldwide as one of the main reasons the clock ticked forward by 4 seconds toward midnight. A year ago, we warned the world was perilously close to global disaster and that any delay in reversing course increased the probability of catastrophe. The Bulletin said in a statement, rather than heed this warning, Russia, China, the United States, and other major countries have instead become increasingly aggressive, adversarial, and nationalistic. Oh, sounds like Gavin Newsom. Sounds like llhan Omar. Sounds like Benjamin Netanyahu. I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself. Why is the world going to complete shit? Because of the leadership in America and all over the world. America is not running itself anymore. We have a foreign country is running the United States of America. We all know it. Barry, are you going to talk about that on CBS? Come on, Barry. I mean, you're trying to regain the trust of your viewers. So you're going to have to need to address that sooner or later, how AIPAC is corrupting all of our politicians in America. that they have way too much influence over American politics, and the president of the United States and Donald Trump is putting Israel before America. You're going to have to address that sooner than later, Barry. I mean, come on, let's be serious. Oh, here we go. Amazon to close Fresh and Go stores to focus on delivery Whole Foods. I'm not getting into this. I mean, these people have so much money. It's just whatever. While we've seen encouraging signals in our Amazon branded physical grocery stores, we have yet created a truly distinctive customer experience with the right economic model needed for a large scale expansion, the company said in the release. According to sources close to the matter, Amazon plans to evaluate each store to see which locations can be converted into Whole Food stores. Amazon said it plans to open more than 100 new Whole Food locations over the next few years. Well, probably because most people didn't even know that was an option. Amazon stock moved 1.6 higher after the company announced plans to close its Amazon Fresh and Amazon Go stores to focus on delivery services. I mean, yeah, I didn't think that Amazon would ever be known I know for a fact. I mean, look at President Trump. Oh, go buy your turkey in Walmart. Hey, President Trump, would you buy your turkey in Walmart? Would you buy any food from Walmart? I'm not shopping in Walmart for my effing food, you fucking clown. I'm not, I didn't really know this was an option, but hey. I mean, being the owner of Amazon, being a trillionaire, it's not good enough. They have to expand their businesses, the mom and pop stores that they all put out of business. Who cares about them? They have to take over another industry, right? Oh, my heart is just broken. My heart is just broken that they can't do it. Let me see what's going on. Oh, nobody's chatting with me. I'm feeling left alone. Oh, here we go. Let's check it. Let's see what Erica Kirk is up to now. Erica Kirk criticized for inviting Pastor Greg Laurie on her tour amid his alleged abuse scandal. You know what's funny about Erica Kirk? Her name, like if you do like a background check on her, the Angels thing, her name is always associated with child trafficking, child sexual abuse. Like you can't see a sentence with Erica Kirk's name in it that doesn't somehow mention like human trafficking, child trafficking, sexual abuse. It's just like she's connected to it over and over again. Erica Kirk is no stranger to controversy as of late, and her decision to invite Pastor Greg Laurie along her Make Haven Crowded tour has landed her in the hot seat once again. Several federal lawsuits have been filed in the United States District Court in California, alleging that a former Harvest Christian Fellowship pastor, Paul Havsgard, sexually abused and trafficked children at church-run homes in Romania, according to NBC News. See, the Angels thing was also in Romania. So you have Erica Kirk. She wins some stupid pageant that Trump was a part in. She's in Romania, and every time she has something to do with these orphanages or, these Calvary places, children just seem to be trafficked and sexually abused everywhere she goes. What a coincidence. Oh, no, she can't be the most evil person on the planet. I would probably say, I mean, Hillary Clinton and Jill Biden are probably two of the most evil women on the entire planet. I wouldn't put Erica Kirk far behind. Those civil complaints also named Laurie, 73, the senior pastor of Harvest Christian Fellowship in Riverside, California, and other church leaders alleging they failed to prevent the abuse and were negligent in their oversight. Yeah, because they were all probably in on it, contributing to it and abusing children also. But hey, Laurie and Harvest Christian Fellowship have denied. Of course they have. Of course. Our country and our government is ran by think about what destroyed Trump's presidency. Think about it. When Trump was on TV and the reporter said to him something about Jeffrey Epstein, and it was like, this is where the avalanche started. And Trump was like, we're still talking about Jeffrey Epstein. It was literally like in a movie where the record like in the club and everything just stops and people look. That was the beginning of the end for Trump, like where his reputation just went out the window. He ran on releasing the Epstein files. And we all know why you're not releasing the Epstein files. We all know that Jeffrey Epstein worked for the Israeli government. I mean, if you don't think, you're just an idiot at this point. And Trump is protecting these people, and it makes Trump look horrible. The same thing with Charlie Kirk, why Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Charlie Kirk was changing his whole stance on Israel, everything. He was going to go back to the Roman Catholic Church. He was talking about Benjamin Netanyahu giving a stand down order on October 7th. He was talking about how he was against the war in Iran. Benjamin Netanyahu in Israel could not afford for Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk mostly dealt with college kids and that generation, the younger generation. If all those people, the younger generation, their hearts and minds and everything else, they have a different stance towards Israel, how is Israel going to keep up the relationship with America where America puts Israel first? You don't think that they wanted Charlie Kirk dead? Of course they wanted Charlie Kirk dead. Let's be serious. Charlie Kirk had so much influence over our future politicians, our youth, millions and millions of young people. You don't think he was a threat to Benjamin Netanyahu in Israel? This isn't CBS News. This is Unbreakable with Chris Chamasiros. We're going to tell the truth here. And if you don't like hearing the truth, I don't know what to tell you, because that's the truth. Erica Kirk was not Charlie Kirk's wife. She was his handler. And we all know the story. They met in Israel kissing the wall, go figure. You know, the same old story. Erica Kirk, she'd had no clue who Charlie Kirk really was when she first seen him. Sure you didn't, Erica. Sure. All of her ties to the military-industrial complex. Trust me, every word that he was saying at home was being relayed to Benjamin Netanyahu, and that's why Charlie Kirk is no longer here. So you're entitled to your opinion, and I'm entitled to mine. And Charlie Kirk was a threat to the future relationship of Israel and America. Benjamin Netanyahu and that government understood that they could not have Charlie Kirk, somebody that powerful, saying those types of things. Let's see what Trump's up to now. Trump scolds a reporter. Let's see what he's up to now, Trump. If it comes up. These commercials are killing me. 15 seconds. Sorry, guys, if you're watching.
The more you bosh, the more you feel like a...
You know, it's very interesting. If you look at China and Japan, I used to fight like hell with them because they always wanted to devalue their yen. You know that? The yen and the yuan. And they'd always want to devalue it. They devalue. And I said, not fair that you devalue, because it's hard to compete when they devalue. But they always fought, no, our dollar's very good.
Talk a lot about Minnesota, Mr. President. Some of your own administration officials have labeled Alex Freddie.
By the way, this is ABC fake news, this one. She hasn't asked...
Hey, Trump, ABC is not the only fake news. Fox News is fake, too, with Sean Hannity. Sean Hannity is a complete fraud. He goes on the Patrick Bet-David podcast and says it's completely impossible that Jeffrey Epstein worked for the Israeli government. So Fox News is fake news also. Sincerely, a guy that voted for Trump 3 times, but I'll let him finish.
She hasn't asked me a good question in years. I think a nice woman, but I don't really like her too much. Go ahead. What did you say? I'd say ABC's about as bad as they get.
Would you like to see the dollar's value decline more?
All right, it's just typical Trumpisms. He's calling all these news stations fake news. So is Fox News, Trump. I got bad news for you. Sean Hannity and Tucker, I used to tune into Fox News once in a blue moon to see what was going on. And hold on. This story made me laugh the other day. This ex-Olympic snowboarder pleads not guilty to running a drug smuggling ring. You know why this made me laugh? Because Kash Patel is like, to him, this is like a big catch. Oh, he's calling him the next Pablo Escobar, and he's parading this guy around like, oh, look at this snowboarder, this Olympic snowboarder. Look what we got. Look what we got. Like, he thinks that's going to take the attention off of the Epstein files and everything else. And we're all dumb and idiots, and we're going to pay attention to some snowboarder selling cocaine. It's just like, dude, come on, seriously. A former Canadian Olympic snowboarder pleaded not guilty to running a $1 billion drug trafficking ring and orchestrating multiple killings as one of the FBI's top fugitives. Made his first U.S. court appearance Monday since he was arrested in Mexico last week and flown to California. U.S. authorities say Ryan Wedding, who competed in a single event for his home country in the 2002 Winter Olympics in Salt Lake City, had been hiding in Mexico for more than a decade. He was added to the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitives list last March when authorities offered a $15 million reward for his information, leading to his arrest and conviction. Authorities say Wedding moved as much as 60 tons of cocaine between Colombia, Mexico, Canada, and Southern California, and believe he was working under the protection of the Sinaloa cartel, one of Mexico's most powerful drug rings. His drug trafficking group was the largest supplier of cocaine to Canada, according to the 2024 indictment. Mexican officials say he turned himself in at the U.S. Embassy in Mexico City last week and was flown to Southern California. Hold on a minute. Kash Patel is acting like they went over there and caught this guy, that they did some real crime fighting. The guy turned himself in. Like, really, Kash? Come on. When speaking to reporters Monday outside the federal, come on, what this article is? What's going on? When speaking to reporters Monday outside the federal court in Santa Ana, southeast of Los Angeles, Wedding's defense attorney Anthony Colombo disputed that his client had turned himself in Mexico and said he was living in Mexico, not hiding out there. He was arrested, Colombo said, after the brief hearing, offering no further details. He did not surrender. Colombo said his client was in good spirits, but added, "This has been a whirlwind for Mr. Wedding." I mean, it sounds like a phony story. It sounds like a story to me, to get attention off what's going on, people criticizing Trump for all different things, especially with the Epstein files. Trump administration wins court victory, freeing ICE agents from Minnesota protest restrictions. What the hell is this? A federal appeals court sided with the Trump administration Monday in a ruling that blocks restrictions on tactics being used by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, while dealing with anti-ICE agitators in Minnesota. The ruling by a three-judge panel, 8th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, put a stay on a lower court ruling that prevented officers from arresting, detaining, pepper spraying, or retaliating against protesters in Minneapolis without probable cause, as anti-ICE agitators continue to confront authorities carrying out enforcement operations. We accessed and viewed some of the videos that the district court did, the appeals court said in the ruling. What they show is observers and protesters engaging in a wide range of conduct, some of it peaceful, but much of it not. They also show federal agents responding in various. There's my whole point. That's why I don't feel bad at all. The girl that got killed the other day, this idiot nurse that got killed, I don't want to hear that these are peaceful protests. They're going to these protests. They're ramming ICE agents' cars with their cars. They're bringing weapons. They're being confrontational with federal officers with weapons in their hand. And then they want to be treated with kid gloves by the officers. Do you want them to make you a sandwich? And here's a cup of ice cream and here's an iced tea while you pull out a handgun on me? And then what does Trump do? He says, oh, maybe this guy wasn't the man. He was the man for the job. You know why that guy Bonvino was the man for the job? Because he didn't give a shit. That's why. He didn't wear a mask. He told illegals, we're locking you up. We don't care how many protesters are here. I got a job to do. We're going to get it done. And if there's some collateral damage in the process, so be it. I don't want to hear that these ICE agents killed some innocent person that wasn't doing anything. That's a load of shit. I don't want to hear that these ICE agents killed peaceful protesters. That is complete garbage, and we all know it. TJ, bringing weapons is what we do in America. Bro, listen, you don't go to protest. If you have a legal firearm and you're able to carry it, that's fine. It doesn't give you the right to be physically confrontational with a law enforcement officer while you have that on. Okay, let me ask you something, Mr. Smarty. You think it's a good idea to be confrontational with a law enforcement officer even while you have your legal weapon on you? You think that's going to go good for you? I'm tired of hearing that these are peaceful protesters. And this will be the excuse. Oh, Republicans and conservatives say they're for the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment, nobody's disputing that the Second Amendment we shouldn't have the Second Amendment. So you think you're going to go in the street, an ICE officer is going to tell you multiple times, leave, 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 leave. You're not going to leave. Then you're going to be confrontational, get physical with a law enforcement officer while you have a weapon on you. And then when you end up dead, you want people to feel bad for you. Well, guess what? I don't feel bad. Do you feel bad for Charlie Kirk? Was Charlie Kirk being confrontational with anyone? Was he carrying a weapon? No. Charlie Kirk was sitting having a conversation. He wanted to hear other people's opinions. And because a bunch of lunatics didn't like his opinions, they all celebrated when he was murdered. So cry me a river. These two people that got killed during the ICE protests, guess what? This wasn't their first go around with ICE. They kept showing up to every location that ICE agents were at. They kept being confrontational with them. And now that they're not here anymore, it's like, oh, poor them. They're the victims. They're the new martyrs in the Democratic Party. And Hussein Obama and all this, Timmy Walsh and llhan Omar, they love that this happened. You know why they love it that it happened? Because it shifts all the focus off the fraud and everybody's talking about this. That's why. The $9 or $10 billion that the Somalians stole in Minnesota, we're not talking about that anymore, are we? Of course not. Give me a friggin' break. Here we go. PJAMA. Listen, I just said what I said. It's one thing to carry a weapon legally. It's another thing where you're carrying a weapon legally and then you're being aggressive and confrontational with law enforcement. What don't you understand? What don't you understand? Is it really that complicated? You think that's going to end well? You're an armed citizen and you're being confrontational with the police and you think that's going to end well for you. Like, do you have a mental disorder? Former ICE director, Trump will take next step if Minnesota leaders don't show commitment to law and order. I saw the video and they asked the guy to move 10 times. They asked him to leave. Then he's directing traffic. He won't leave and he's being confrontational. So you know what? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Former Immigration and Customs Enforcement ICE Acting Director Jonathan Fahey said Monday that President Trump may have to take the next step if local and state leaders in Minnesota don't show that they're committed to law and order. Amid protests over several recent shootings involving federal immigration officers. A lot of this action by these so-called protesters, they really are just acting in subversive ways, and they're clearly coordinated, and they're not to speak out against the policy. Fahey told News Nation Katie Pavlich. They're there to disrupt the enforcement of law, which is the very essence of our democracy. That's exactly right. These protesters are organized. They're being paid to show up where ICE is. They think they have the right to interfere with ICE doing their job. And then when tragedies happen to them, Democrats and liberals want you to think they're the real victims, and they're not. They're the agitators. Oh, yeah, the ICE agents are this Gestapo ripping people out of their homes and just taking their lives for no reason. That's what Democrats want you to believe. Give me a break. I think today is a great opportunity to leaders in Minnesota to either show that they're committed to law and order, and if they're not, I think President Trump will take the next step, which is not going to be to leave Minnesota, but it may be the Insurrection Act or something else, he added. Well, I have a question. What Democrat believes in law? None of these Democrats believe in law and order. Look at every major city in America that's run by Democrats. Do you see law and order? I don't. Have you seen what Manhattan looked like in the last year? Venezuelan, illegal Venezuelans on every street corner, stealing things and selling it, crime everywhere. What Democrat do you know that believes in law and order? You have all these liberal judges being appointed to the bench by Joe Biden. You have people that have committed 86 crimes. They murdered people. They're not even making them pay bail. They're letting them out of jail to kill some more people. And it's all by Democrats. Liberal judges, Democratic judges. So it's nothing new. Being a criminal is the Democratic way. And 2026, well, since Hussein Obama, really, that's the liberal way. Being a criminal is being part of the Democratic Party. So Arizona substitute teacher accused of punching student during class. I'm not going to read the whole article, but with today's kids, I can't say I blame her. I wonder why she would just punch a student for no reason. Gee, let me think. Student probably has purple hair, a nose ring, a bull ring, a F America shirt in the classroom. I'm not going to read this. After Minneapolis shootings, California advances a bill allowing lawsuits against federal agents. I wouldn't expect anything less from Gavin Newsom in California. After Minneapolis shootings, California advances a bill allowing lawsuits against federal agents. Go figure, Gavin Newsom doing his thing. Aspect ratio is all kinds of effed up. Yeah, maybe because it's the Yahoo News. Whatever. Amid a national uproar over the recent killings of a Minnesota man by immigration agents, the California Senate on Tuesday approved proposed legislation that would make it easier to sue law enforcement officials suspected of violating individuals' constitutional rights. Senate Bill 747 by Senator Scott Wiener. Of course, the Wieners, they're all perverts. They're all criminals. Anthony Weiner, sending his penis pics to 12-year-olds. Senator Scott Wiener, Democrat, San Francisco, creates a pathway for residents to take legal action against federal agents for excessive use of force, unlawful home searches, interfering with a right to protest, and other violations. The bill, which cleared a Senate committee earlier this year, passed in a 30-10 vote along party lines. Of course it did. Of course it did. See, this is my biggest problem with President Trump. He's this big tough guy. He talks so much shit. Right? Did I see Alexander Mayorkas get arrested? Did I see Joe Biden get arrested? Did I see Hunter Biden get arrested for human trafficking? Kamala Harris and Joe Biden allowed a border invasion. Mayorkas allowed it too. None of them got arrested. None of them faced charges. No, just look what they did to Trump. They tried to take his life. They brought him up on all types of charges. And Trump doesn't return the favor. Trump is always trying to take the high road, right? What do you think is going to happen when Democrats get back into power? Every person that supported Trump went to jail on bullshit charges. And Trump didn't send them a clear message that the behavior is not acceptable. So when Democrats take back power, what do you think is going to happen? If you thought Democrats were bad the last time around, wait till they get power back this time around. See what else is going on. First Amendment, Second Amendment. No, I love you. You're probably a liberal, right? And you like to use those things in your arguments, but you don't believe in the Constitution at all. So Trump's tariffs, I'm not getting into that. It's like the court's going to decide, then it's going to go from there. Democrats want Trump to fire Kristi Noem. You know, if I'm Trump, I tell him F off. I'm going to end it with this. Trump, he goes on tour. We got to win. Trump calls out MAGA to turn out for midterm elections. I'm not turning out for the midterm elections, Trump. I'm telling you, sincerely, a guy that voted for you 3 times. You don't deserve my vote. President Donald Trump delivered his first midterm election campaign speech of the New Year Tuesday, urging a crowd in Iowa to defy historical trends and preserve his Republican majorities in Congress. After he recited what considers signature accomplishments over the past year, You're just mad at everything. It's great. Go to sleep. Dude, do you even have a real picture up, you loser? Like you're probably 600 pounds with purple hair and you're talking to me. I'm mad about everything. It's great. Anyway, when Trump got on TV and he says Americans aren't talented enough to do the jobs and we need to bring in like 400,000 foreigners to do American jobs, I'm just done. I'm just over it. There's only so many spots in college universities that to go around. Then Trump wants to bring in 300,000 Chinese students and put them all in the top colleges. Meanwhile, they're spying for China. So soon as Trump got on TV and said, "I'm done. I'm over it." You're 140 pounds, bald and ugly. Great, congratulations. Good for you. After he recited what he considers signature accomplishments over the past year, Trump said, if we lose the midterms, you lose so many of the things that we're talking about, so many of the assets that we're talking about, so many of the tax cuts that we're talking about. And it would lead to very bad things. We've got to win the midterms. Well, guess what, Trump? Excuse me. The way you've handled things so far, all you had to do was release the Epstein files. And everybody's probably looking at you much, much differently. That's all you had to do was keep your word. All you had to do was keep your word, secure the border, start the mass deportations like you promised. And I would have gladly have voted for your son, Barron Trump, when he runs for office. But instead, what has happened? Benjamin Netanyahu has dog walked you all over the place. You're bombing all these countries, getting involved in foreign wars, every war on the planet. We're bombing Iran. We're bombing this one. We're bombing that one. You're backtracking on the mass deportations. I don't see any significant prices going down. I don't see it. Since President Trump has became president, I don't see my life getting so much better financially. So I got bad news for you. I'm just going to sit this one out, Trump, especially since you're already pushing J.D. Vance down our throats. You're going to have to work for my vote this time around. You got my vote 3 times the last time. And so far, what I've seen, especially on Christmas, Mark Levin parading you around stage as America's first Jewish president. And we have so many Americans in America without health care. Me being one, I just lost my health insurance recently. I have a broken finger, all right? I go to this place, I fill out insurance. They tell me, oh, you made too much money last year. We can't give you insurance. And I'm looking around the doctor's office, filled with illegals. Everybody has babies. Oh, have another baby. Oh, don't worry about it. It's free for you. And as an American citizen, you know what they tell me? You made too much money last year. Get effing lost. But hey, what country? America pays for what country's healthcare? Every person in Israel has free healthcare. And you know who pays for it? The American taxpayer. Has Trump done anything for health insurance? For the premiums? Has he done anything for the car insurance? Have taxes went down? Where are all these promises, Trump? The mass deportations? You're going to release the Epstein files. You're going to release the JFK files. You're going to talk to us about aliens and UFOs. I haven't seen anything. So you know what? You're not getting my vote this time. Jovan McClay, 3297 says, any politician that is not running on ending the Fed or actively trying to do is a compromise, brother. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm not saying I don't agree with that. I agree. We got more of the same. Both parties, they're the same. They're owned by the same people. That's why nothing changes. That's why we need America first candidates. If you're not America first, I don't want you. Is Trump acting like America first? No, I voted for Trump 3 times. Is J.D. Vance going to put America first with, that security thing that he's got going on coming out of Palantir? No, it's going to be like Minority Report. We're all going to be under every second of the day, we're going to be under surveillance with J.D. Vance. J.D. Plants, his whole story's made up. The guy's never even had a job in his life. His name is fake. The whole Mama story is bullshit. They just roll him out there to try to appeal to the middle class worker, the blue collar worker. J.D. Vance doesn't know shit about being a blue collar worker. He had a no-show job that he didn't even show up to. in Silicon Valley. The whole story is just total bullshit. You know, he appealed to, you have to win Ohio to win the presidency, basically. So Trump picks J.D. Vance to manipulate all the Ohioans to vote for him, and that's what they did, and that's what they got. Well, not this time, pal. I'm done voting. Nope. Whatever happens at this point. You know, I'm glad that I voted for Trump, because with Kamala Harris winning, we wouldn't have a country right now. We would have got another 20, 30 million illegals in the country. You could have kissed America goodbye, and it makes me absolutely sick. But we secured our border, but the 55 million people illegally living here are still here. And here's another, Trump can do a lot of things. Where do these people work? How do they have a driver's license? How are they able to work? You have to show your ID. Jovan McClay 3297 says Casey the car guy and is running for. I heard that too. I got to look him up and see what he's about. You know, Trump could have did a lot of things. If you're illegal, you should not be getting anything for free. You shouldn't be getting Section 8. You shouldn't be getting housing. You shouldn't be getting EBT card. You shouldn't be getting free healthcare. You shouldn't be getting anything. And the only reason why all these illegals come here is because they're incentivized to do so. We're the only country in the world that rewards people for breaking the law. Oh, you broke the law? No big deal. Oh, you had 4 kids? Why you broke the law? We're going to give you money for that. We're going to give you free college, free healthcare. Zohran Mamdani the other day, you know, he wants the American taxpayer to pay for free childcare in Manhattan for illegals. He comes out and says, this is for illegals too. If I'm the director of ICE, I'm headed over there. Parents, children, we could deport everybody together. You'd be like, oh, you're so cruel. No, I'm not. What I would do, if I'm Trump, this is what I would do. I will call all these countries that dump their illegal population in our country, and I would say, hey, listen, you are going to pay for these centers out on the Mexican side of the border. You're going to build these buildings with swimming pools, with daycare, with schools, with gymnasiums, with movie theaters, with food. You're going to pay for it. And we're going to place all those people there. And then every month, we're going to run people through a system. And if you're allowed, you know, if you pass the background check and you pass everything, we're going to let like 100 people a month come in, 200 a month. We're not going to let millions upon millions of illegal people come across the border. The FBI has already admitted that, you know, thousands of terrorists have crossed the border and they have no clue where they are. And they're saying that something worse than 9/11 is going to happen. I believe that the government wants that to happen. You know why? Because they'll make that as an excuse just to start more wars. But you could handle this whole immigration, you can handle this whole illegal immigration in a very kind way. Again, you make all the other countries that dump their people in our country, you make them pay for it. Build these nice big hotels, gymnasiums, ball courts, movie theaters. Put all the people there. They got to go through a background check. They can prove that they're going to be employed when they get here. If they don't have employment, if they don't pass a background check, you got to go back. Too bad. But no, Trump has no answers. You know, the only thing that Trump is worried about is him and his billionaire buddies selling the Trump coin, making $1 billion, wiping out Gaza so him and his buddies can build hotels there, and the Trump family could be set up for life, you know, as trillionaires. And I'm over it. They're not getting my vote. JD Plants is not getting my vote. And I'm going to end it with that. Thanks for tuning in to Unbreakable with Chris Chamasiros.